A client may send you a lot of Illustrator files that are filled with icons they use for their branding. So I'm going to go over here and click on the avatars Illustrator file and open that one up because it has a lot of characters in it. I'm going to go over here and select this punk guy or girl here. I'm going to need to expand it out so that it's not pixelated in After Effects. I think the default for Illustrator may be this. You want to use pixels. You want to make a new preset here. And you want to make it 1080 pixels by 1080 pixels. This is for HD. I use this for icons in HD. It's never been a problem. You don't need to worry about CMYK. We're just copying this out of this canvas. So you create this. And then I'm going to go over here. Make sure you copy, Command C, and Command V, paste them in. Then over here, and the size, make sure it's locked. And you want to make it 1000. That'll make him 1000 pixels across, and the height here. Then you want to go into After Effects. I'll just delete this out of here. I'm going to make a new composition here. Make your composition size the same size as the canvas you created in Illustrator. That was 1080 by 1080. Click OK. We're going to call this composition for this punk guy. We'll call him Brewster. Right. You want to make a new, this is right click or control click on the Mac. And you want to make a new shape layer. Then I'm going to toggle right back into Illustrator. Command A to select all. Command C to copy. Then I'm going to Command V on the shape layer. Now all this does, if you look at it, it's nothing. What it did was it pasted all this into masks. What you want to do next is you want to open the shape layer by clicking the triangle next to the shape layer, then opening the masks folder. You can't really use this. You want them into paths as they are paths in Illustrator. But the reason you want to paste this in is because it gives you a count of how many lines are in that Illustrator file without you counting them or looking in an Illustrator. So it says here I've got 13 masks. That means I need 13 paths. So you want to delete masks out. You want to highlight content. You need to select this down here. You need to expand the layer switches pane. Then you want to click add, and you want to add 13 paths. So I'm creating more paths by just duplicating path 1 by pressing Command D on the keyboard and just making 13. You're going to highlight all of these and you're going to expand them out. Then you want to go on the path layer, I guess we could call it. You want to highlight each path. Then you want to Command V to paste that in. So what happened here was we pasted all those paths from Illustrator into individual segments here on After Effects. But look, it looks blank. That's just because we don't have a stroke added here. And then if you put the stroke here, we'll bring this stroke up to 15. And Mazel tov. Look at that. How you like to do round caps. See his smile here? How it was squared edge with the butt cap, I like the round cap. It looks better to me. Also, line joints, you can maybe see that on his V here. But I kind of like rounding things out. Actually, it didn't make much of a difference at all on this one. But a lot of icons, it will. So now we have a shape layer in here filled with all the paths, not taking up a lot of space, and just one stroke. And here you go. We have a punk here that we copy and pasted from Illustrator. Copying and pasting paths from Illustrator into After Effects in this way is a much faster way to work, and it takes up a lot less memory in your After Effects file, especially if you've got a lot of icons you're working with. It's also a lot less confusing. Everything's organized a lot simpler in your shape layers. Let's go back. We need 5 icons to go around this punk's head. So we'll go into Illustrator. We'll go into Finder, and I'll go down to, organized. So we go into holidays down here. We'll open that up and we'll grab the bat. We're going to go back to our Untitled tab now. Delete the punk out of the canvas, then Command V the bat in here, and we'll go back up here and we'll do the width at 1000. And this, you can see here, it's just one path, right? Let's go into After Effects. What you have to do, new composition in here, bat. Then you make a new shape. Since this is one path, you can just put that in there. Command A selects all. Command C for copy. Then go into After Effects and you can paste that here. And you want to put in a stroke here, and we'll do 15. And again, I'll come in here and just round them out a little bit. See, you can see here on the joint, really pointy, rounded out there. So now that you know the flow here, we're going to do 4 more of these, and I'm just going to fast forward through this footage. And now we have all the icons in here. Spidey, Grim Reaper, Fang, Brewster, and Bat. So what I would like to do now, I'm going to double click on Brewster here. And I want to just add in a few colors into him. And I want to separate some of these paths. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just select these and drop them down just to make it a little easier to see. We can also bring down transform. So in order to do this, we need to figure out which one of these paths is his eyes, which is his mouth, what's his hair, and his shirt, because I want to color his hair a color, and I want to do his V-neck shirt here another color. In order to do that, let's see. Okay, so that's his mouth, path 1. I'll just label this mouth. Okay, you press enter, type in whatever you want to type in, and return. So that's his mouth. Let's see what this is. This is one of his eyes. This is another one of his eyes. So whenever I have his eyes, I'm going to have them moving together. So what you want to do is you want to go over here to add. You want to make a group empty. Okay. And we can call this group. We'll call this eyes. Then we'll move up the eyes up to here. And 2 and 3, I'm going to select both. Hold down Command and select both, and then drop them both in here. So you've got his eyes, they both go away, and his mouth. Okay. So now I want to get into coloring. So I'm going to go in, composition. You can go to composition settings here. And I'm going to make the background color white. Of course, the stroke is white, so you can't see anything. But if you select over here, I'll make his lines this color. So we've got a stroke. All these paths are coming down. They're hitting the stroke, and they're coloring it. So let's move on. I want to color his hair now. Okay, let's find each spike. What's this? This is his face. So path 5. Okay, that's a spike. There. This one. That one. And that one. So 5 through 9 are hair spikes. So I'm going to go over here and make a new group. I'll call this hair. And I'll bring that here. And I'm going to select 5 through 9 here. Move that into here. So now his hair is in one group. What I'd like to do now, I want to add in a fill to make the hair color pop. So I'm going to add here, I'm going to go into add, as long as you're on this group, you want to add fill. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to make this fill color, you can go over here or you can go into here, and I'm going to make his hair yellow. Okay, or orange, whatever that is. But it does look a little wonky here. We have the strokes are a little, this doesn't look very good. So that's because all these paths are going, and then they're hitting this stroke here and displaying, but the fill is coming in first, and the fill is over the stroke. To alleviate this problem, you want to bring the hair below the stroke, right? So if you bring it here, then the hair is here, but we have no stroke now because the stroke is above. So what you want to do is get in the hair here, and let's put a stroke in the hair. All right, that's good. So this little group here has its own stroke and fill. The stroke, though, is white. So let's change that to this color, but it's only 2. And remember, we made these 15 pixels thick. So now everything is even. All of the hair, all the strokes are even, and we have colored paths in here. What I'd like to do is I'd like to change this V-neck. I'd like to have a little shirt here color. It's a different problem. Let's see which one it is. It's not this. Is it 12? No. Is it 11? It's 11. So 11 here. Now it's not as simple because if you notice, if we take off his shoulders, where's his shoulders? Number 10. You'll see that it's not connected. And if you go over here, we make a new group, and we'll call this group V-neck. And then you want to we'll put the path in there. And, well, we can't see anything because it's actually outside of the stroke. You can put it back up above the stroke and it's there. But if you put in a fill like we did last time, it cuts across, and then, what was it, 10 here. You see, we've got a little cut here. I want it to blend in with his shoulders here. I'm going to hide that one. Let's go into V-neck. Now, you've got the path here. You want to select one of these. Let's select outside of it. And you want to select your pen. Okay. Select one of the anchors. Then press the arrow, or V, and select the other anchor. What we want to do is we want to connect these. You know how you connect paths in After Effects? You just go to Layer, and you want to go Mask and Shape Path, and you want to click that to be closed. So now these two are closed. But again, it's outside, right? So you can just add in, you can go over here to your pen tool, and you can click over the path and it'll add a plus. And then you click here. It's still a little weird, so you want to click on Convert, and that will round it out. And you can kind of eyeball it here a little bit. And still, it's outside of it. So let's bring this outside the stroke. We'll go underneath the hair. So now we have no stroke on here, but we'll do what we did last time. We'll go over here. We can just into the hair. We can go copy the stroke, Command C, and then Command V into there. And it's still a little weird, but that's just because you want to bring the stroke above the fill. And now we can put the head back on, and let's change the color of the V-neck. I'll drop into the V-neck group. I want to select from my color palette here. So we'll go over here, and I'll make his shirt a light blue. And everything looks kosher. I really like how this is turning out. I like how the icon has some fill, but it has only 2 colors, and it's pretty minimal. And then it has the outlines. It's a nice polished look. What I'm going to do is put each icon in its own container. So I'm going to go down here and create a new composition, 1080 by 1080, and we'll call this Circ Bat. Okay, and we have white here. Yep, all that looks great. We'll click OK. Then you're going to come up here. You want to select it as a circle. And the fill, you can select whatever color you'd like, of course, but I'm going to go with an orange here. And then you just go over to the circle here, and you double click, and that creates a shape right over here. Then you want to take your bat, move him over the shape. We're going to scale him down a little bit, and we're going to Shift P for position, and we'll move him a little bit up. Right click or control click on the shape to get the drop down menu. I want to have the same line color as our punk had in the other one. So we'll go to layer styles here, color overlay, and we will, it always defaults to red, but I'll select this. And that looks pretty good to me. So in order to save time, I'll just duplicate what I did here. Press Command D or Control D on the PC. I'll do Circ Fangs. I'll double click on Fangs here and drag that here. And I'm going to highlight Bat, click U 2 times. When you press U, it drops down everything that you've modified on that comp or shape. Highlight Transform, highlight Layer Styles, copy, and then paste over the fangs. And then we can delete the bat here. And we're going to move these fangs down. S for scale, make it a little larger. And we'll go and we'll do the same for the next 3, I guess. We'll go Circ, Grim, and we'll duplicate that. We'll double click on that, click the Grim Reaper, drag him in over here, highlight Fangs, double U, transform, copy layer styles, paste over, and delete your fangs here. He's a little big, so I'll scale him down a little bit. And I'll move him up. I'll hold down Shift and arrow up. If you hold down Shift, that does 10 pixels up. And then we'll do duplicate Circ Grim, and we'll do Spidey here. And double click that. Click on your Spidey, drag him in. UU, highlight Transform, highlight Layer Styles, copy, and then paste into Spidey. That looks good. And we'll go and we'll duplicate one last one, Circ for Voodoo. Double click that. Drop in your Voodoo here. UU, highlight Transform, highlight Layer Styles, and paste it into here. And we'll move him down a little bit and scale it slightly up. And now we have all these icons in their own little circle container. I'm going to make a new composition, and we'll call this Circle of Fear. Then click on Create a Shape. Make sure you click over here in the project, double click here, and that'll land a circle right in the middle there. You want to click S for scale. Let's bring it down a little bit. Then I'm going to go over here into effects. I'm going to go and get the radial wipe. And I'm just going to throw this on here. And since we have 5 circles, so let's make this a different color. We'll just do like a whatever color, green, whatever that is. And we put that effect, we put the radial wipe. Now, since we've got 5 into 100 is 20. So this transition wipe goes up to 100. So you just put this at 20. And then you can grab one of your circles. You can grab the circle bat here. You can scale it down. So what I'm going to do is make the opacity down to 50 just to align it. So I want to put the center right at that corner right there, right? Okay, circle bat. Let's do circle fangs. So I'm going to click UU, transform. I'm going to copy, and I'm going to paste that into the fangs. And I'm going to put that at this one. Okay. Then I'm going to go to the Grim, and we can put that here. And I'm clicking Command V to paste the attributes here. And that puts it there. Let's go into the shape, move that down to 40. 20 more %. And we'll grab the grim here. We'll put him here. This is an easy way to get this all to align really quickly. Okay. I'm going to go to here. We'll click on 60 here. And we'll do Spidey here. And we'll paste it, the attributes onto that. Okay. And then we'll grab Voodoo, paste. Let's go here and go to the controls and go to 80. And Voodoo is here, so we'll put him right here. To make it full screen, press Shift /. Okay, so you can just kind of hide this. All these are here. Now, one thing you need to do, let's put in a new null in the center. I'm going to press the Y key and bring the anchor point in the center of the null. And then that makes it easy to go over here to align. Just keep it right in the center between everything. Pick whip these onto the null. And you know what, let's bring up, you press T for opacity, bring this up to 100. And you can click rotate. And they rotate, but you know, they're kind of getting dizzy because they're not keeping on their plane. So let's take off these. Let's just select this to none. I'm going to show you the next step. So what you want to do first for the center, you want to call this null center. Pretty easy. Then you want to make a new null. This one here, we'll put it over the bat. Then you want to move it over the bat in the timeline area just to keep it organized. Then we'll duplicate that. Put this one over the fangs. We'll put this right here. We'll duplicate this and put it over the grim. Duplicate again. We'll put this one over Spidey. Put this right over Spidey. Duplicate this again. Remember, it always helps to have snapping on to get these nulls right over your comps. And so every single one of these has its own null above it. I'm going to call each one of these null icon. And I'm going to copy this and just put it and paste it over every single one of these. Nice and orderly here. Then you want to link all the null icons to the null center. So pick whip it to the center. This center here is going to rotate everything around. You want to make everything in here. Just make it 3D. So click that box. Because you want to get the Z rotation. And you want your rotations divided out. In the null icons, you can click R for rotation here. Then you want to hold down Option and click on this timer here, where you can enter in. Type hyphen, then type TH, and this should pop up, and then press Enter, and it should select in. Type COMP, or just C, and it should just pop up, and then you can just enter it in. Dot layer. Okay, then it puts in that. You want to put in quote NULL space center quote and dot transform dot Z rotation. Enter. This here is connecting to this center's Z rotation and keeping it at an even horizontal plane. And you want to put this in to every null on here. So click on R here, click Option and the Z, paste it. Right here, click R, Option Z, paste it. R, Option Z, paste. R, Option Z, and paste. Here, let's just close down everything, select all, and hit U. closes it down. So you want to connect each one of these, each comp, to this null icon. Then, after that, select every comp, then hit R on the keyboard, and then we're going to put in the X rotation, hold down Option and click the timer, and then click hyphen this comp dot layer, and then in here you put null center, just like last time. Whatever name you put here has to be here in the quotes, and then go outside the hyphen and hit dot transform dot X rotation, and that's it. And then you want to copy this, and you want to put that in the X rotation of every comp here. Option click on the X rotation timer and paste the code in. Okay, I'll do a demonstration. Highlight the center null and press R to bring up all the rotation values. We're going to spin this around using the Z value, and look, everything is on an even plane here. So let's just set this at 0. What I like to do, I don't like to see these, so I'll click all these nulls and hide them. And I'll click the Z rotation timer to make a keyframe. Click here, and we'll do it 4 times. And let's just see what happens. See how it works. Pretty good. Could be slower. Let's make it 2. It looks wonderful. And there's no warping because we're not using the camera and using auto orient. Auto orient can make these containers go like egg shape, or any shape you're using to do this, or any text or anything can kind of get warped by that camera lens. And this technique won't allow that to happen. We have these spinning. Let's go ahead and do the finishing touches. We'll put the punk guy here in the middle, and we'll press S for scale. We'll bring him down. I'm certainly not in love with the space between the containers and the punk in the middle, so let's space them out a little bit. You can go over here, you can click scale. Let's move these out a little bit here. What I'd like to do is just bring down the size of each one of these icons. Are a little big, maybe something like this. Okay. So now they're kind of spinning around him, and we have this here. Let's just duplicate this circle. Press UU, open up everything. Let's just delete the effects because we aren't going to need that. And we're going to need a stroke, so I'll click this on. I'm going to hide the fill. And the stroke will make it the same color as a shirt here. And what I like to do, although we're going to thin this out later, make them a little thicker just so I can see what everything looks like. I'm going to scale it out a little bit so it's more in the center of these icon circles. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll add trim paths. And we'll set the start, well, first of all, you see how it has a flat end here. Let's go into the stroke here and just make it a round cap. All right, I think the start could be around 5, and this would be around, just make it, yeah, around 15. Maybe 15.5. That's good. So what we'll do is you want to animate these. These are going to draw on. There's going to be one between each one of these, right? So we'll have them trim path on. That's how we'll animate this. So we'll click an end. We'll click the keyframe here. We'll just go with a second just to make it easy. Click end here. And at the start, if you want to make it go away, just click 5 because that's where it started. Now remember that this should be included up here because, look, it's not spinning with the rest of them. So put it back at 0, and we'll pick whip it up to not Brewster, up to null center. This will rotate everything around. Select both keyframes here and go into easy ease. So this one's going to come on like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate it, and we'll do the next one. You know what? And it's easy. You just start at 1 because it's expanded by then. We'll click UU here and just push this up and down here, and you can get the offset here. Then we'll do another one. UU. Do an offset here. And another one. UU. And another offset. Right about there. Alright. UU. Go to offset and the trim paths. Okay. So I'm going to go and select Command A for all and just click U to collapse. These to me are a bit big, but let's see how it's looking so far. So it kind of does that. I like to stagger things out, so we'll go 10 frames stagger. Let's see. We're going to go over here on the timeline, and we're going to stagger each shape by 10 frames. This will make them appear on at a different time, and it'll give it a better look in the end. Let's see how this works. That looks pretty good. So let's bring these down to a reasonable fat. Maybe that's even too fat. Let's go to 5. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. This punk guy here, let's take him, let's just hide him for a second. Let's make a duplicate of this one. We'll push this one. We'll push this all the way. You can just press this bracket here to make it go all the way to the end. Let's click scale. And this one here, let's make it smaller. Let's make this color, we'll make this a yellow. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and make it kind of fat. We'll just make this at 0. Take this off. Or we'll keep it on. But let's just start it at 0 and end at 100. So that's kind of there. Let's click here, the timer, and click this at 100. And let's push this keyframe back a little bit into here. So that looks pretty cool. Something like this there. We'll make these a little bit easy ease here. And we will, I think that this could be a lot lower, like a 20. Yeah. And I would like to do another one of these. Scale it up. Let's see. Even like this size. And so let's go ahead and collapse all these layers. Select all and press UU. There's no wrong or right way to do anything in After Effects. There's so many different ways to get the same solution. Here. This is the big one, the small one. I'm just going to name this circle. Radial. And just kind of put this away down here. We don't really use that. We'll start with the large one. So I'll make this one first. Let's see. Move this. We'll go up 10 frames here. actually. So that's about right. Let's see. These two happen there. This guy, now it would be cool to have him pop on after these circles. So these kind of go like that. Put his endpoint here. We'll go into him. And what's cool about the way that we set this up is that we can trim paths here. And we can set an end here, and we can go 1 second up into here, and we'll set this to easy ease. We'll start this at 0. And that's not really getting all the paths trimmed. To include this hair and everything, we could just put that down here. So then you've got like this kind of look, where it kind of draws on the... I kind of like how it's turning out with the colors. You can also do, which is cool, you can do it individually. So each part comes on like that. But we'll do it simultaneously. I think it's a little more interesting. Where we have him here, and we'll press I to go to the endpoint here. We'll scale him. We'll click scale here. Then we'll go to 127. Just a second. And, you know, like I'll click R here. And I'll click Shift and S to see the scale. I'm going to click the rotation timer, and I'm going to click there. I'm going to turn them a little bit this way. We will also start the scale around 0. Right here, I'll have them pop out a little bit. He's at the end scale is about 31. So let's just do 34 here. And again, we're going to set it to ease. Looks like that circle comes in and he pops in. Maybe push it back a little bit. Okay. Let's have all these icons pop on. I'm just going to label them yellow circles. These are kind of like transitional things. I want those to come on first, and then I want these icons to pop on. Let's go over here. All these circles are connected to these null. I'm going to click the scale timer here, and I'm also going to bring this to 1 and hit it again. And then I'll just say 0 here. We'll make these E's as well. What do these E's out to? 79. So right here, we'll have a pop out to about 83. So what you can do with this, if you're back at 0 here, you can just go to each null. If I copied the scale here, and you just click each null, not the center, but each icon one, and click that. Okay, so let's see here. We have them all popping on. It's kind of a mess though. So let's kind of like let's kind of just shift things around a little bit, and things will look a lot smoother here. So first things first, let's just start with the bat. And I'm going to move everything around here so that everything kind of starts after this yellow outer line. So that's about there. I'll move this over here. And bat comes on, and then we'll do the mouth. And I'm just going to move this into place here. Slide it over. Grim Reaper. Move this guy over here. And we'll move them both here. Spidey goes there. Trying to keep it sorted. And then Voodoo is next. The last one. That goes here. So let's see how this is animating. All right. Looks pretty cool. Another cool thing we could add to this. Let's have him smile and blink around. Let's see how that looks. After he gets drawn on, we have his eyes here, right? So if you open the group here, you've got eyes, and we can click scale. We'll go up 10 frames. So we'll go 0124. Okay. So, and I'm just going to add in another keyframe here. And in the middle, what I'll do, I'll make them squint. So I'll unselect that and I'll only do the vertical at 0. Oh, but look, it's like it looks like they're moving. So what that means is with this, see this anchor point, click Y and just move that right in the middle there. And what we can do is click 0 here. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so let's see if he's blinking. Awesome, looks great. So we can copy this and we can have him blink a few times. Kind of cute. And I'm just copying the keyframe and and just pasting him. You just paste them a bunch of times. All right, that's cool. Let's also have these eyes. Let's have him move a little bit too. So when he gets drawn on, then the position can kind of change. You can move, we'll put a keyframe there. We'll do the same thing. We'll go up to 0128, 10 frames over, and push that. And so when he's here, they're in the middle. Let's have him look right. Oh, wrong side. Horizontal. Look over here. So we'll select these keyframes. If you hold down Option and Shift, you can move over the keyframes really easily. These eyes, they need to be eased because that just look a little robotic there. And blinked, moves. And what we'll do is we can put another position here. I'm going to copy this keyframe here and I'll just throw that here. And he's looking back, and then maybe we'll have them, he's blinking a little bit, he'll blink again. We'll do a position here and we'll have him move them this way. He's blinking, moving back, blinking, moving, looking over. We'll have him recenter. So I'll just throw in a keyframe here, and then I'll paste the keyframe there. So he's looking back. And it might be interesting, where is his mouth? It's here. So I'll show you how to animate these paths. You have him blinking, he's looking around, blinking. So maybe when he looks over there, he gets a little sad. So we'll bring this up 10 frames to 301, and all you have to do is you can move this here and move that like that, and maybe he has like a sneer, kind of like that when he looks over there. And then you can click another keyframe here, and then you can be like, oh, well, wait, bring this up here. When he looks over there, well, I'm sliding this keyframe along here. But when he looks over there, so remember I copied the smile keyframe, the original keyframe from the smile, right? I went over here and I copied it. And then I'm just going to paste it here on the path. And it goes right back to smile. So he's like, oh, look, oh, didn't like that. All right. Oh, that looks good over there. Like that. Oh, okay. And you can play around with stuff like that for the eyes. You know, the blinking's pretty cool. So it's really easy to do too. I'll put another one here. Give him some life here. Oh, okay. Likes that. Okay. But what happens when he looks over there again? When he's looking over here, let's copy these keyframes. And we'll throw them here. After he blinks here, he blinks. And when he looks over there, we'll go up to his mouth here. We'll copy that frame and we'll put it here. Oh, but we'll move that over here. And tighten it up and make the keyframes closer together. Option Shift will move your keyframe back 10 frames. So let's see how all this kind of works together. Let's throw this into a HD size. Main punk. We'll just call it 1080 so we know how high it is. And we'll throw the circle of fear into here. Oops. And you just drag it onto there. Now this size here is wrong. Should be 1920 by 1080, and we'll just make the background white. And there you go. Cute stuff. Alright, so that's kind of it. I wanted to show you how to make one of these rotation things that move around, how to really work with paths, getting them from Illustrator into After Effects, having them draw on, and really understand the inner workings of how paths work between Illustrator and After Effects, and how to make things rotate and just hold their x-axis. All right, well, thanks for listening, and I hope to do another one of these.